Without further ado, here are the Porsche race cars I was talking about earlier. Jeez, damn. Oh. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Today's plan is to keep working on the FD. We're gonna get up in the air, adjust the stance a little bit so it's a little bit more driver friendly, and then I'll take you guys on a ride along to see what the hype is all about on this car. So basically what I'm gonna try to adjust here is just, simply raise the front. I'm gonna do like a 2-finger gap.
That's what she said.
So it's not so close to the lip of the fender. And then on the back, we also have new tires, by the way, all the way around. And on the back, same thing. And then I'm gonna put a wider tire. So right now we are running a 265. I went with the 285, so it should, I don't like the stretch look personally. So we're gonna go ahead and fill that out and raise it a little bit, see how it looks. Hey, quick shout out to Harbor Freight, man. Look, they provide safety pins for your jack now, so you don't drop the car on your face. And yes, it's getting hot in LA now. All right, car's up in the air now, on jacks obviously. I don't like the heat. I personally do not like the heat. I would much rather have it be super cold than super hot because I sweat like a faucet. But anyway, let's take these tires off and then get them loaded up and then head out to change out the tires. We got the tires loaded in the back now, headed out to our friend's place where he has the tire changing machine. And I think you guys are in for a treat because where we're going is where all of our Porsche race cars are stored. I'm not gonna tell you which one, obviously, you'll see when we get there. But me and my brother built 4 of these like 3 years ago along with some friends. So I think you guys will like it, honestly. Like, bang for your buck. You can't beat this race car. But anyway, guys, I'll see you at our friend's place. All right, everybody, so without further ado, here are the Porsche race cars I was talking about earlier.
We're not as tough as
So basically, my friends and I built these 4 cars almost 3 years ago, and the story behind it is we used to race in Spec Boxster, and for those of you who have raced those cars, you know they're such great handling cars. Like, I would say nothing can beat it, but they're just so slow. So we thought of the great idea of like, hey, like, why not just put a bigger engine in it? And I tell you, it is like a whole different car. It has the handling that a Spec Boxster would have, but it has so much more power. So like, we didn't initially think to enter a series or anything. We just thought like, hey, like, there's 4 of us, and then there was actually another 5th guy. Like, that's enough right there. We could just play around with each other. And then, so many people were asking us like, hey, what is this series? How can I get in, stuff like that. And then we ended up joining NASA at ST5. But then, long story short, because like no one has really ever done this before, we kind of had to learn as we went. So the entire first season was just, stuff breaking, couldn't get the setup right. We blew up we actually blew up 3 engines. 2 of them totally seized, other one just a head gasket. Blew up the limited slip differential, and then at that point we had so much time and so much money invested in it. We're like, okay, you know what, this is going a little bit too far, so we just ended up just stopping everything. But I really like, this is what got me into racing. Like, personally, I love circuit racing more than drifting, more than anything. Like, that's how I grew up around racing, and that's how I learned, starting with go-karts. So I mean, it's up to you guys. Like, you guys tell me, like, you guys want to see these back? Because if you do, I promise I will find a way to get these back up and running. So right here we have my brother's, and right there we have mine. And of course, knowing my luck, I had the worst luck with this car. So basically, when I first bought it, come to find out, way down the line, it had a blown head gasket to begin with. it just wasn't that bad. Like if you were just cruising around, normal driving, it was okay. But as soon as you got on it, you would see the temperature start to rise, and of course the boiling water, all that good stuff. And then luckily, the engine's not totally dead. I stopped it before it got to that point, so totally refixable. But then I actually ended up buying a whole separate parts car. But the thing with that one is it was from 2 years later, which come to find out, it was like the last year of the Boxster S, the 996 Boxster S, and then the Vario cam, I think Vario cam was different, and then which meant the whole entire harness was different. Like the plugs were the same, but the pins inside the plugs were all separate. So the engine that's in it right now doesn't even work because the whole harness for the car is not supposed to be for that engine. So, of course, knowing my luck. And the initial problem we were having was because these things have so much more horsepower and carrying so much more speed into turns, it would understeer like crazy. So what we ended up doing was putting the sway bar back on the back side of the car, which helped. But then the rear end was too stiff and so snappy. So we actually got a wind-proven rear wing, rear spoiler, specifically for these cars. So I think when we add that on, the car should be good to go. And for those of you wondering, like, hey, if the 3.2 engine is that much more power, like, why hasn't anyone started a series with a 3.2 engine in it? It's because obviously when the spec Boxster series first came out, there was a ton of 2.5s, so those were everywhere. And also, let me show you guys really quick. So the 3.2 engine specifically has an oil starvation problem, meaning when you take a turn, so you have the oil pan, right? And then the oil sits in the oil pan. So when you take a turn, all the oil like floats to one side, which then where the oil, I don't know what you call it, like oil tube that disperses the oil amongst the engine can't suck in anything because the oil's on this side. And then one solution, which I don't really think is so much of a solution, is people just increase the depth of the oil pan so it can hold more oil. But the downside of that is you're adding more weight to the car, and it's not 100% guarantee that's going to work. So the correct way to do it is install an AccuSump system, which holds oil pressure no matter how many G's you pull in a turn. Well, basically, like I said, hold oil pressure and prevent oil starvation in these things, which is the biggest problem in these Boxster engines. But yeah, guys, as you can see, like, these are full race cars, nowhere near close to a street car anymore. You know, like I just said, the AccuSump system, full roll cage. We have the Olin suspension under there. We run 255 squared, so all the way around. And then let's see, we have the 3.2 engine in there. Mid-engine, of course, we just, straight pipes. So these things are loud as hell. And this one actually shoots flames for some weird reason, but this one's fast. This for some weird reason, this red one is a lot faster than the other ones. But yeah, I mean, these two work. My brothers and then my other friends, and these two are the dead ones. This has a blown diff, and of course mine, like I said, has all sorts of problems. All right, guys, so just a recap of what you guys just saw. So I mean, like, those four cars are so close to me and mean so much to me, because we all have that like one car specifically of like how you learn to work on cars and like fix stuff and stuff like that. And the Boxster was the car that like taught me all bunch of stuffs about engines and setup and all that good stuff. So like I said, I'm pretty sure in the other clips that, like, if you guys want to see more of that, then let me know, or you can show by like thumbs upping this video and liking it, subscribing, all that good stuff. And I promise we'll get out there, we'll get all the cars going again. And I mean, those are really unique cars because no one really sets up their Boxster like that. Like I said, they're mostly all spec Boxsters, meaning 2.5, 2.7 max, which is not technically even legal either. And like I said, like, these are sleepers, people. Like, they are so fast on the track. Like, I cannot obviously explain. But now, guys, it's back to reality. We got the tires in the back mounted, so let's get these back on the RX-7. We're gonna do one tire at a time, work on one corner at a time. But this is what I'm doing here. So I put the new tire on here, which again, we went from a 265 to a 285, same sidewall width, so which is a 35. Man, it looks good. Look at that. It fills all the gaps much better than the 265. And then, so here, it's very, very, very close. So luckily, it has spacers right there. So all I have to do is take away a spacer. But I think just removing one spacer will be perfect. And then, yeah, it's good to go. But then again, I don't really want to remove a spacer. Like, look at that. It is so perfect. Like, just slightly, just like maybe a millimeter or two poke on the outside. But super aggressive looking. It looks really good. I don't know. I think what I might end up doing is just putting all 4 tires on and then just drop it to the floor and then adjust one by one. All right, guys. So the car's on its feet now. I mean, nothing has changed to the front. It's the exact same tire. It's the back. Look at that. You couldn't have asked for a better fitment. So obviously, I am going to raise that. That's a little ridiculous. But yeah, that should be easy. Just raise it up like an inch and a half. And then I'll do that for the front too. And hopefully that'll get rid of a little bit of camber. So this is how we're looking right now in the stance. Much better than before. We have about a little over a finger gap in the front. And then in the back, it's a little bit more tucked. Like a little less than a finger. Like I have to tilt my finger this way. But looks good. It looks good. So up next is to put back the odometer and then we'll go for a drive. All right guys, so this is what the inside of the RX-7 looks like. Discard the dash, I'm working on that. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We got the, again, I don't know why exactly this is, but 2 ECUs here, one for boost control, one for idle. And then we have obviously these aftermarket gauges, which are pretty cool because they're kind of like the old style 90s. Look at that. And then this one is coolant temp, oil temp. And then we have ECU. And then I think this is the water for the radiator. You know how drift cars you can spray on it. So don't need that. The fan and then the fuel pump. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Then we got the roll cage back here, which I'm going to take this off really soon and repowder coat it. But yeah, guys, let's do some pulls. Damn. Oh. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos, and once again, let me know if you guys want to see more of the Porsche race cars. And until next time guys, see you later.